What's up, guys? Welcome to my Learn Music Theory series. This is our second video. In the first video, we talked about the lines and how they're called a staff. We talked about this symbol over here and this symbol, which is the treble clef and the bass clef. We talked about the lines above the staff and below the staff. There's three, and they go higher, but for now I'm just saying 3 lines up, 3 lines down. Those are ledger lines. And if you need a refresher in that, you can watch my previous video called Episode 1 Symbols. So this video, we're going to talk about the notes and how they are applied to the lines and the spaces. So each line and each space has a letter name. In English-speaking countries, we use the letters A through Z to spell words, and those words to spell sentences. In music theory, it's actually easier. We don't use the letters A through Z. That would be way too many notes. We just use A through G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats and goes back to A. Alright, so for simplicity's sake, the lines are E, G, B, D, F. 5 lines starting at the bottom line. E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy deserves fudge. The 4 spaces are F, A, C, E. You eat fudge with your face. So, E in the alphabet is F. What's after F? G. Then remember, in music alphabet, it goes back to A, B, C, D, E, F. We read from the bottom up. So each line, E, G, B, D, F. Each space, F, A, C, E. And that's just something you got to memorize. A good way to do that is if you go to musictheory.net, print off a blank piece of staff paper, and then just write in the names of the lines and the spaces. Starting with the bottom line, E, first space is F, next line G, next space A, next line B, next space C, D, E, F, so on and so forth. And just fill up the whole page. Just like take a box of it, take like a section like this and do what I've done here, and then go right next to it and do it again. And do it, fill up the whole page. And I promise you, if you do that enough, you'll memorize the note names. Alright, so that's the first part of this video. The second part of this video, which we're going to start now, is we're going to talk about how those letter names apply. How we can apply what we've learned as far as the staff, treble clef, bass clef, and the note names. Excuse me. The treble clef, the circle part, so that's really small and not good. But the circle part of it, if you Google treble clef and look at the swirly part, is always on G when you write it. Circle part always goes around G. So that's your reference point, which is the second line, is G. That will be your reference point. Or if you have it memorized from the bottom up, you'll know exactly where to go. So we're going to start the chromatic scale, but we're going to use C. The letter of the day today is C. We're just going to start there for an example, so it's easy. Alright, so all music theory is based on a piano. So let's look at a piano. Alright, so where it says middle C is what we're looking at. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. All the white keys. The black keys, the set of 2, the set of 3, the set of 2, are called accidentals. You can remember that as you sometimes accidentally play them. And those are either called a sharp or a flat. So if you look at middle C, then the first black key in between C and D is either a C sharp or a D flat. Alright? And so on and so forth. Notice there's no black key in between E and F or B and C. Okay? So let's write that on our board, and then we'll hear what it sounds like. So first we have C. Then we have another note, which is either a sharp or a flat. Then we have the letter D, which is either, and after D, then we have either a sharp or a flat, so a black key. Then we have E and F, and remember, let's look at middle C again. E and F, there's no black key in the middle. Now there technically is a note there that we can write, but for now, for simplicity's sake, we're not going to write it. So we have E and F, no black key. So we have C, a sharp or a flat, D, a sharp or a flat, E, F, and then after F we have a sharp or a flat, and then we have G, after G, a sharp or a flat, not G sharp, after the note G, there's another note, which is a sharp or a flat, then A, then after A, we have another sharp or a flat, and then we have B and C. And if you remember here, B and C has no black key in the middle. There is a note that we write, but just like E and F, we're going to skip that for now. So the notes we're working with the chromatic scale are C, some sharp or flat, D, some sharp or flat, E, F, some sharp or flat, G, some sharp or flat, A, some sharp or flat, B, C. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's technically I wrote 13, but this C up here and this C down here are the same note. One is just higher in pitch. So let's hear what that sounds like. So we have C, middle C, C, and then we'll say C sharp. You can also call it D flat. Then we have D, then D sharp, right here. We can also call it E flat. Then we have E, E, and then F, and then F sharp, or we can also say G flat. And then we have G, and then G sharp, or A flat. And we have A, and then we have A sharp, or B flat. And then we have B, and then we have C. So it sounds like this. This is the chromatic scale, and it's what we say stepwise, one note at a time, all the way up. So here's what it sounds like. I accidentally started singing a minor scale. My bad. But that is essentially the first step that we gotta start learning. All right. I think that's pretty clear. The vocabulary that we came up with today, chromatic, you can just remember that as stepwise. Just remember it as a stepwise scale. That's the next vocabulary, scale, which is just a series of pitches or a series of notes in some organized way. And then this last vocabulary I'll leave you with is inharmonic. So remember that, for example, in between C and D, there's a black key. Bum, bum. That black key is either a sharp or a flat. It's either C sharp or it's D flat. It's spelled differently, but sounds the same. Spelled differently, but sounds the same. A concept that is helpful to think about is think about how many theirs there are. There's there, like go over there. There's theirs, it belongs to them. And there's they are, there. They're all spelled differently, and they do mean different things, but that's the sort of concept that we're talking about. It is different in the English language, but that has always helped me when I was learning this stuff, that in harmonic are notes that are spelled differently but sound the same. So if we were to write, let's simplify it even further. Simplify it even further. Sorry, my line drawing is all squiggly. So we have our C there. I'll leave it circled. Our C. So if we write C sharp, it's going to be the same line, but with a sharp in front of it. Now, this is what C sharp sounds like. Let's erase it. Let's write a D flat, which is the first space below the first line. Sharps, let's write D flat. D flat. Spelled different, looks different. Here's what it sounds like. In harmonic. All right. So that's our lesson for today. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot a comment below and ask me, or you can send me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have, or if you want me to do another video for further clarification. If you need extra help, you can go to musictheory.net, which is a free resource, and it has everything that we talked about today on it. So we'll see you next week.